Good day again, my wonderful, amiable listeners. I bring to you another news headline. You will pay for your action. US threatens Putin. The news in full. President of the United States of America, President Joe Biden, has closed American airspace to Russian aircraft. Joe Biden, in a broadcast on Tuesday, said Russia President Vladimir Putin will pay a high price over the long run. Russia continues bombardment of Ukraine as the one-sided war enters its seventh day, with Moscow's miles-long military convoy now stalled near Kyiv, according to Al Jazeera. During his address on Tuesday, President Joe Biden criticized Putin and led a standing ovation for the embattled Ukrainian people. He said, and I quote, "Let each of us, if you are able to stand, and send an unmistakable signal to Ukraine and to the whole world. While Putin, may gain on the battlefield, he will pay a continuing high price over the long run," Joe Biden said. The president revealed that the United States' next action against Putin would be to seize yachts and apartments of Russian oligarchs, saying, "We are coming for your ill-begotten gains." President Joe Biden, who also had a late-night secure call with Ukrainian president, as Russian forces were launching a shocking multi-front assault on the country. President Joe Biden and Ukrainian President Zelensky have spoken often, and the United States had condemned Russia's attack in the strongest terms. President Joe Biden said he had briefed Zelensky and said, "On the steps we are taking to rally international condemnation," and said the besieged president asked me to call on the leaders of the world to speak out clearly against President Putin's flagrant aggression and to stand with the Ukraine people. US officials have also reportedly spoken to Zelensky's team about potentially moving the president out of the capital if there is a Russian invasion on Kyiv. Zelensky has so far said he plans to remain in his country. But intelligence reports suggest that one of the Russian chief goals is to replace Zelensky's democratically elected government with a puppet regime beholden to Moscow, which potentially makes Zelensky and his cabinet especially vulnerable targets for arrest or attack. President Joe Biden also held a secure call on Wednesday with the Secretary of State Antony Blinken, Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Mark Milley, and National Security Advisor Jack Sullivan about the attack on Ukraine. Multiple explosions across Ukraine were reported by journalists and Ukrainian government officials in at least 4 cities early Thursday morning local time, undermining Russian President Vladimir Putin claims that Russia was launching a military operation that would be limited to the country far east of the country. Starting about 2 hours before dawn on Thursday, explosions were felt in and around the cities of Kyiv, Odessa, Kharkiv, and Mariupol. These explosions are ongoing according to reports. Kuleba, Ukraine Minister of Foreign Affairs, said in a statement that a full-scale invasion of his country was underway. US President Joe Biden says he would consider personal sanctions on Putin if Russia invades Ukraine. Mr. Biden also said there would be enormous consequences for the world if Russia made a move on the nation which sits on the southern-western border. His comments came as other Western leaders repeated warning that Russia would pay a heavy price for invasion. Russia has accused the US and others of escalating tension over the issue and denies planning to enter Ukraine. However, Moscow has deployed an estimated 100,000 soldiers near the border. The Kremlin has said it sees that Western military allies NATO as a security threat and is demanding legal guarantees that it will not add new members further east, including neighboring Ukraine. But the US has said that the issue at stake is Russian aggression, not NATO expansion. Fears of invasion has prompted Western embassies in Kyiv to withdraw some personnel. Ukraine Foreign Minister Kuleba, however, told reporters on Wednesday that while the truce build up poses a threat to Ukraine, he believes it is insufficient for a full-scale offensive. Diplomats from Russia, Ukraine, Germany, and France gathered in Paris on Wednesday for talks about the ongoing tension. Taking questions from reporters on Tuesday, Mr. Joe Biden said yes when asked whether he would see himself imposing sanctions on the Russian president personally in the event of invasion. Such a move across the Ukraine border would mean enormous consequences worldwide and could amount to the largest invasion since World War II, he said. On Wednesday, UK Foreign Minister Liz Truss echoed Mr. Biden was telling the BBC Today program that the government has ruled nothing out, including sanctions against Russian leader, and the UK also said it is looking to toughen up its sanctions on people, banks, and businesses. He said, "What is important is that all our allies do the same. It is by collective action, by showing Putin we are united, that we will deter a Russian incursion," she said. Western power agreed to unprecedented sanctions against Russia if it were to invade during crisis talks earlier this week. On Tuesday, United Kingdom Prime Minister Boris Johnson raised the issue of banning Russia from the SWIFT international payment system, a move which senior Russia officials said meant Europe would not be able to pay for and receive Russian products. Stockism and stockpiling on Ukraine on easy borders. Russia currently provides about 1/3 of the crude oil and gas imported by the European Union. Speaking at a press conference on Wednesday, President of the European Council Charles Michel warns that aggression against Ukraine would result in a serious consequence. He said, "A threat against Ukraine is a threat against Europe," he said. President Joe Biden also said on Tuesday that he would feel obliged to beef up NATO's presence in the Eastern Europe if Russia invaded. But he repeated that there was no plan to send US troops to Ukraine itself. The US has already put 8,500 combat-ready troops on alert to deploy at short notice, and President Joe Biden has promised to personally sanction Ukrainian president.